All right, we're going live now. We're live.
Where's our Marilyn Manson intro music? Come on.
I am watching the link.
You should have asked beforehand.
It's not up yet.
No?
I guess we're going to say, Nigel, you want to get on it? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Well, we're 15 seconds in. It says we're live now.
Yeah.
We're live. Oh. Where's our Marilyn Manson intro music? Come on. Someone needs to turn off that volume.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
On that note, let's kick her off. Someone who
kick it off with
volunteers. That's fine.
Oh, hey, stuff's dropping.
I have a freak.
And all right, owner of the freak, who are you?
I'm Nigel.
Excellent.
Does it not have my name right here?
Yeah,
it does.
In the bottom corner.
Yeah. But you're Nigel the Smith.
Okay.
That I am.
And I'm Darren Joe. I've got my smock with me today.
I am.
Paul, who are you?
I am who I am. I'm carrying the Wiena's Pleroma because it's a dream.
Sure is.
Noise.
And I'm exile.ca, and I'm carrying this, which is the 0055.
It's a weird one.
Is that the GTC?
0055. Yeah, GTC. 0055.
Nice. Very cool. So it's been a while since we've actually had a PokeyFactor episode.
It can you tell?
That it is, yeah. We've all been trying to stay safe as possible, not risking taking transit because we all live in the city and none of us drive right now. So, yeah, it is what it is at the moment.
Unfortunately.
Public trains are not quite the safest place to be right now as we speak, right? So,
not exactly.
Yeah.
But either way, we got some questions coming on hand that hopefully we can answer throughout this live episode. So I think we should probably just get right into it and start cracking on those.
Okay, we want to start with the questions we were asked yesterday?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's start that off and see where it gets us. Yeah.
They've been waiting the longest.
I can't go live until I do that, so I've realized. Okay, so the very first question we were asked, do you want the controversial question first or last?
Maybe last.
Let's see where it gets us last. Yeah.
All right. Good place to start. Mad One Outdoors wants to know, how did we all meet?
I met Dennis because my best friend at the time was this thing that I tried to get hired on there and kept bringing me by, and we were hanging out and ended up hanging out outside of work as well.
That's lagging pretty hard.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And Nigel's got all sorts of freeze going on. So,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, bear with us, folks.
The test run didn't have that.
No, it did not. Should that story be said again?
So, if you don't mind repeating, just cliff notes on that one, if you don't mind.
For sure. Mine was trying to get me hired on at the store. Eventually, I got in there, and even before he hired me on, we were hanging out a bit. And since then, it's just we're buds.
Okay.
And then met
more. Oh wow.
So
those through the store as well.
So Nigel's got some major lag problems, unfortunately.
Awesome.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. To summarize what Nigel was saying is basically, I manage a knife store. I have for several years. Nigel came around with a good friend of his for several whiles, fell in love with the store, put a resume in, eventually got hired in as my full-time guy, and pretty much we haven't looked back since as far as friends and coworkers and employee management thing goes. So rock and roll. I think it can be said for the rest of us, it kind of followed suit under a same kind of category is love of knives, whether it was Joe, whether it was Paul, came in as customers. We bonded instantly, and I recognized good human beings when I saw them. And yeah, we are where we are right now. So,
Yep.
Most definitely.
On the note of good human beings, it's the only time you're going to hear me say that, because the rest of the time I slag on them like nobody's business.
It keeps us all
I cry
grounded.
myself to sleep at night.
I like to think it keeps us grounded and keeps me from getting too big of a head, you know.
Well, and Joe, we've seen the size of the hat you need to wear, so it's
a little ridiculous. Yeah, these poor headphones. Yeah.
Stretch to their limit. All right, Mr.
Yep.
Fisk would like to know Margot Robbie or Scarlett Johansson.
For me, it's Scarlett Johansson.
Same.
Margot, I know.
Keep going.
No, I was going to say exactly what you're about to say is you've got this thing for Margot Robbie, and I understand why. You need to explain why.
Yeah. Initial Robbie has that sort of streak that,
Fair enough.
There's enough of that alternative that, Nigel, it's right up his alley.
Most definitely. All right, the next question was asked by Emerson.
Joe didn't answer. Joe didn't answer that question.
I think Meg would be mad if I answered anything other than what's her name? God, you just said it. Yeah, ScarJo. Yeah. I think she'd be a little mad if I said Margot.
Fair enough.
I think Nigel is letting us know that he is.
And I'm just noticing up on the. Yeah. I was just about to say that Ahsoka Edge here jumped on YouTube and Robot the Smith. I'm Nigel the Smith, not a robot.
Oh, jeez. It's coming across like a robot. Holy shit. Well,
totally does sound like Robot.
Fair enough. Maybe that's why.
We will try to figure some sort of solution out for next time, whether it means Nigel's closer to his router or whatever.
Most definitely.
We
want the next question?
Auto-tuned version of speaking moistly, I think, right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Nigel can hear us. Looks like he's frozen.
I'm hoping we can get that sorted pretty quick here. So
most definitely.
Well, in the meantime,
Robot the Smith. Yes, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Do we have a question from Robot, or we just joined in live?
Oh, that was Ahsoka Edge on YouTube dropping a comment there. But he was calling Nigel the Smith Robot the Smith. Yeah, the auto-tune is pretty strong. Oh. So we've lost Nigel out of the call.
All right, then.
I'm going to readmit him, and hopefully this will sort itself out.
Oh, yeah. I think if we took him out of the dungeon...
There we go.
There you are.
Hey, we can hear you.
You're over there now instead of over here now, so...
Sweet. Just thought I'd mix things up.
There was slight robot there.
Fair enough.
But this does seem a little better than before. All right.
It definitely does.
Let's keep this ball rolling. What was the next question?
All right. Next question was from Emerson 1095. If you could meet your favorite knife designer, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. I'm not even sure.
I'm not going first.
Man, favorite knife designer. Crap.
Nobody else got an answer?
Not off the top of my head. So many good ones.
I don't know if
So
I
many
lagged
good
out
ones.
again there, if it's everyone else.
Yeah, Nigel, you lagged out.
Go ahead, Paul. If you've got a good answer for us, let's hear.
I don't know if it's a good answer, but it is an answer. Where are you?
He had time to think about this question. It's not fair.
It isn't. 100% isn't. Potentially Foxness. He seems like a really nice dude. And
yeah.
I like his designs.
Yeah.
Yes. Have a pint, you know?
I approve your choice. Actually, he was in the running of what I was thinking about as far as ultimate designers goes, right? But yeah, it's so tough to say. There's so many good designers out there that, like, even just looking at what I've got in front of me right now, I'm like, man, where do you go? Like, I'd like to sit down with Elijah Isham.
I kind of figured that'd be one of your top picks.
That's what I was assuming, yeah.
I think just for a good evening of entertainment, I think that man would be pretty fun to sit down with. I don't know about top designers of all time, but I think as far as a good night, I think Elijah would probably bring it. So,
see, for me, sure, it's got to be like a top 3 type situation. But ultimately, I think flip a coin, give me either Michael Walker Talos on Instagram, the guy who developed the freaking liner lock. If you've seen any of his work on Instagram, it's like total art knife sort of stuff, but just really cool, funky looking designs. So I'd like to pick his brain. Also, Grant and Gavin Hawk, if I'm allowed to pick 2 people as sort of the same person because they're father-son team. Every single one of their patented designs that I've looked over the last several years, it's like, okay, this is like really cool stuff, and everything they've done has been interesting to me, even if not necessarily aesthetically, just mechanically, all the concepts behind it. The only Hawk Knives design that I have actually is Kershaw, this guy here. It's the 1905. I think it's actually... No, it's the Induction.
That knife genuinely has the nicest action of any Kershaw in existence.
Yeah, nicer than most of my ZTs, too.
Definitely one of, for sure. Nigel, who you got for us?
Go ahead. I don't know. Probably one of the old school, like, Bowie forging guys, and just spend an afternoon in the forge and learn some stuff and absorb what I can from them. I'm not sure who specifically.
Like a Jerry Fisk type.
Yeah.
Bill Bagwell kind of thing. Like a
Schwartz. Yeah. Schwartz? I don't know.
Getting some...
The last question that we got. Okay, this is from The Climb DG. Why is the best knife ever made the Paramilitary 2?
That's the controversial one?
I don't know.
Because you are delusional.
I think
the answer is because he is delusional.
What's this guy's name and who do I have to block?
Yeah. I don't dislike many people for many reasons, but that's not a question you should be asking because it's inherently false. No. I mean, okay, I could see why a lot of people like the PM2. I know why you like the PM2. Why don't you tell us why you like the PM2?
I like the PM2. It's a great knife. It's a great workhorse. What, best knife ever made? No.
I think, and even on the best platform of the best handle with the best blade steel, it's still a bit of a tank in your pocket. Like, honestly,
it takes up
the pancake that it fills is.
I mean, Spyderco's
one of the reasons why it's out for me. Yeah,
Spyderco's not. That's not something that they have never done before, having a very wide knife just for the sake of the opening hole. But it's one of those things where you don't see a lot of people complaining about that kind of thing, like how wide that knife is for the usable blade it provides.
It's not that far off from like a Lion Steel. Like That takes up a similar amount of real estate.
But it's a really awesomely ground blade. It's relatively comfortable in the hand in multiple different positions. It's comes in a ton of different blade steels. Like, there's a lot to like. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but
on the flip side to that, Paul also owns a Benchmade Fact. Nigel owns a Benchmade Fact. Yeah, there's no comparison when it comes to putting it in your pocket and how much it fills your pocket. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Oh, there's Nigel's fancy boy.
So that's all the questions that we got from our story from yesterday. But we do actually have a question on YouTube.
That we do. Yeah. Ahsoka Edge here is wondering how our collection growth has gone since the pandemic. Has it slowed down?
Well, for me, no. I've actually bought more since the pandemic started than I have in recent times. Mind you, it's all been really cheap stuff, so it's kind of like, I'm bored, I have an extra $30-$40. Sure, let's buy some crap I've kind of been looking at anyway. What about you guys?
Mm-hmm. Nothing. I've bought nothing.
My buying has completely stopped, although I will probably spoil. Me and Paul might be in the same boat where we're waiting for a knife in the mail. But between Canada Post and COVID-19, we are not getting a knife in the mail as of whatever day this is. Tuesday, May the something.
It's the 12th? I think, it's the 12th today.
12th. Yeah. Estimated ship date was April 3rd, so that's how impressed I am about that whole thing.
Oof.
So
I went live on Instagram as well, just saying hey to Wayne Bailey. How's it going, bud?
Hey.
Good day.
All right, so that's all the questions. PM2, why it's the best knife?
I wouldn't say it's the best knife. It's a great workhorse, and there's a lot of things I like about it.
It's not.
But there's better
knives. I will admit, it took me 3 or 4 years to warm up to a compression lock as a left-hand carry, being basically closed like a triad lock, drop shut. As long as it's got a finger choil, you can do it. So I am starting to warm up to more and more compression lock designs as a lefty, but that's been one of my big constraints, as well as Nigel's, throughout the years with the PM2 in particular.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
The only compression lock.
And something's the compression lock, it kills it. I'm done.
Yeah, that was.
I've realized something crucial about this Instagram thing is they can't hear you guys.
They can only hear us, so they still have to be on YouTube. But they can
only hear me. They're gonna have to head over to YouTube to actually hear what we're talking about.
Well,
so they should come over to the YouTube.
Yes, there's your incentive.
Definitely come over to the YouTube.
Yeah, you just need to be a promotion whore for the rest of the episode, apparently. So
that's all right.
There's only one person watching. It's okay.
But I think I shouldn't say that. I was going to say nothing with just a regular compression lock has really tempted me recently. The Smog has the button actuated compression lock. I really dig that.
That doesn't count.
No. But I was going to say the Ikuchi, I think, is the last Spyderco that was like, yeah, I'm probably going to have to own one of those.
For sure, man.
He's onto something. I wish it had enough of a finger choil to drop shut.
Yep.
Because it doesn't, and it's sketchy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't a compression lock, I would own that knife already.
You know what? If it was just a regular liner lock, I think I would like it a lot more.
Yep.
I don't know. Have you guys had regressions of things where you get tired of a certain lock type or a handle material, and then you kind of rediscover it? And you're like, oh shit, that's actually, I remember why I like this so much, because that's been the liner lock for me over the last 3-4 weeks.
I'm in a lull about carbon fiber right now.
Yeah.
Gas.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard it. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
We're
Shocker.
shocked.
The only bit of pizzazz he likes, and he's getting tired of it.
The Barus, which you guys all hate, the Barus from Viper Knives, has got the marbled carbon fiber, which still clings on to me a little bit, as weird as that may be, because normally I don't like that type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I hate that knife. Until I get it in hand, I don't think I'm too sure about it.
I might get two versions.
Just double down. Oh, that's fantastic.
They have a sheep's foot and they've got a drop point, so I might spoil myself with both.
Is that the one with the big hole in it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's the weird one.
Yep.
Dennis
Just
is like, what about it? Yeah.
Gonna give a shout out to Mr. Fisk here. He's jumped into the YouTube chat and is giving a hello.
Mr. Fisk.
Hello.
Happy he's here. So
We did get another question from
Indeed.
YouTube there as well.
So I'm just on a more quick technical note. The Zoom meeting it's telling me is 40 minutes. I guess that's the type of meeting it is. We've been on YouTube Live for 21 minutes, so I'm guessing we've got about 10-15 minutes left before we could wrap things up.
Yep.
That's fair.
Just a quick heads up.
Yeah. And yeah, just as I'll mention there, so Rich had asked another question. What's our favorite folder at the moment?
Favorite folder at the moment? That we own, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? Holy, that's interesting.
See, that alone, I won't be taking that from you anytime soon. Then, if it's your favorite.
For the sheer fidget factor and sitting at home on my ass, it's fun to play with.
Do you think your opinion may change if you were to, I don't know, have to put it to work?
That's the thing, right? I've fiddled around with it a few times, and it seems like a really utilitarian, useful blade.
Just for the record, DT0055?
Yes.
And that's the weird GTC thing with the spring lock back. Yeah,
Or
all sorts of weirdness.
Spring flipper tab, very weird.
Yes, it's a Franken knife for sure.
It's there. Nigel, you were showing off favorites. Do it up.
Yeah, I think at the moment it's either going to come down to the Super Freak or the M4 Bailout.
That's a fair answer.
Those would be my favorite go-tos lately.
Can't say I blame you. Oh.
Yo, what are you rocking?
That's a really good question. Lately, I've actually been carrying around a tie light, but it's a little bit modified, just a little. Ended up brushing the blade. Not sure how well that'll turn up. And then
it's pretty satiny.
Yeah, and then stripped all the coating off of the handles, and actually, I quite like it that way. Yeah.
Would have normally looked like that, so in
right.
comparison,
yeah.
You can see a difference.
Joe, you need to talk so I can see that shit again.
Okay, there we go. Can you see it up close now? And then I kind of left the tie light bead blasted, although I think I'm gonna have to do something about that too. The reason I was doing that is because I was testing out some finishing stones for my own knives that I've been working on, and I actually kind of like hand finishing stones on hardened steel. But if you make a mistake, it takes so long to fix that same mistake on a hardened steel. Soft steel doesn't take long. There's a lot I like about the tie light. I mean, I just managed to dial in the action, get the centering to be almost okay, so it doesn't rub on the interior scale. Oh, look at that. Zoom has said, running out of time, we've removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting.
Apparently, we're under the
Nice.
We're under the Mother's Day weekend,
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah,
If we want to.
keep going.
Awesome.
Yeah,
If we want. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
indeed.
Yep. Yeah.
On that note as well, actually, we should probably also raise a glass or two for news that we heard today. Paul, you want to take us over on that?
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I know how to. It's Halloween, right?
Valauten?
Valauten? I always thought Valauten.
Yeah, Butch Valauten passed away. This is, dude. I was not aware that I was going to be on.
Cheers to the man. He made nice knives.
Most definitely.
You certainly did.
Yeah. Otto's dual actions, apparently his dual actions, right up until he was passing away, you could send a Spyderco Valauten to Italy, and if it was legal for you to own a dual action or an auto, he would turn the Spyderco version into a dual action or an auto for you. So hopefully you were one of those lucky guys that could actually get one of those modified, because he was doing that, and that was absolutely awesome for the community as taking that's factory production and making it unique, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dual action autos, they're one of those things that are a little bit hard to come by in a high quality fashion, right? Like the Valauten was one of the, I'm not going to call it inexpensive, but it was definitely one of the more affordable options for those who could get double actions. Most of the stuff I'm aware of has been like $1,200-$1,300 American to start.
Yeah, art knives.
Pretty much.
And to round out, I didn't actually answer the last question, which was the favorite knives that we're in love EDCing right now, and I'm actually going to double up with Nigel. Benchmade Super Freak, you bet, and the Manly Knives Wasp. This thing, I'm telling you, give it a day in court, guys. Like it still is blowing me away as far as how awesome that little knife is. Day-to-day tasks, it keeps slogging and slogging and slogging. It's unbelievable. So
S90's a hell of a thing.
Mr. Fisk is also on the Super Freak train, mentioning that he had a hard time in picking it up. Because it's an easy one to grab in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that's still on my list of ones that I want.
Again, kind of in that PM2 category, other than being a little chubby in the pocket. That's the only reason I don't carry the Super Freak, is because compared to other things I have in my collection, it does get into the chubby category like other knives do, right? Like
it's a pretty full-sized handle. Like it's pretty substantial, right?
Yeah. And gonna give a shout out to Maya here. She joined the chat a little bit late, but we'll forgive her because she's a sweetheart.
Yep. And she's here, so.
Yep. Yep. And Ahsoka Edge, we just got the news today about about Butch passing away.
Yeah, always hate to see one go, but it's part of life. And unfortunately, in this day and age, it might be a little more a part of the life than we all want to think about right now. That's for sure. So, just happy we're all healthy and things like that, right? So,
yeah. And Mr. Fisk, as usual, being a smartass here, and in reply to the Super Freak being a bit chubby, mentioning that he does not wear skinny jeans. Neither do I.
I think Dennis might be the only guy here who wears skinny jeans, but I can't say I've ever seen him in them.
Closest.
I don't really wear skinny jeans either here, guys. Like I don't know. I got some dress slacks that are nicely fitted.
What's the thickest handled knife you guys carry recently? On that note, speaking of fat handled knives.
Dirty.
Well, I mean, me and Fisk love the Contigo, so I mean that's something we can jive on, and that's in and out of my pocket.
Well, that's a wide knife, right?
It's a little bit heavy too, steel frame, even though it's skeletonized, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know, not as heavy as a Buck 110, but we're getting there. So
Yeah.
I might be the odd one out, but I'm actually carrying stuff less in my pocket right now.
Well, yeah.
Well, mainly because I live alone, so pants they're optional.
Yeah.
let's be honest, Paul. We're on live YouTube. Like, we can only see you from logo up, right? Like,
It's true story.
No, I'm wearing pants. I can't even see them. I'm wearing pants.
Say no.
No.
Jeez.
I'm wearing pants.
I was afeared there for a minute.
Feared. I think. I think the widest knife I've been carrying recently actually is still the tie light. It's narrow in both dimensions, but it's wider this way than most
That
of
knife
the other
doesn't
things.
count. That's a garbage answer. You have a tenacious in your fucking collection.
My answer is this.
This has been
Talwar.
The Talwar.
Yeah,
it's a fun knife. It's fun in the kitchen too.
As light as it is, it does have a pretty fat pancake. Yeah.
And talk about a crappy carry profile. I mean, it takes up a ton of room. But I mean, if there's nothing else going in that pocket, then whatever.
Would you back carry that Talwar, Joe?
I have, and it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I'd take that over a PM2.
If I'm not sitting, it's
in the back pocket.
I don't know.
Just in general. Well,
that's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't do a back pocket carry ever. No.
Tiny, like few and far between, for sure.
I do it fairly often, and the biggest one that I've been carrying recently is the 909.
That's a loud, chunky opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a revamped Les George version of the 350. Like,
yeah.
Most definitely. It's definitely the beefiest ZT that I own.
I will admit, actually, though, I have been carrying Manly Knives Wasp.
And
always
also in fair enough.
It's a good knife.
And in Maya's expertise opinion, pants are always optional.
Yes,
Mr. Fisk says. Mr. Fisk says that he'd carry a sharpened rock over a PM2. That's. I mean, you said it best, man.
A sharpened what? Sorry.
A sharpened rock. You'd rather carry a flint-napped piece of glass over a PM2.
What is it heat treated to?
I guess that depends.
Glass.
That depends if it's the type or on the type of rock, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what heat you need for metamorphic or any of that shit.
Well, I'm pretty sure the boys that carry a PM2 care all about that shit. So,
well, I mean,
for a while.
Edge holding being the one and only important thing when it comes to a knife steel, right?
Blade geometry likes to sword fight with that conversation.
Oh, it absolutely does. And I
would argue that I'm not your traditional.
I'll take blade geometry over heat treatment any day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that I'm not your traditional PM2
Screw
carrier.
you and your grouchy face there, Joe.
I don't know. I mean, is the situation such that I can take a knife that has been poorly heat treated, but with a good geometry and use that? Or if I take a badly ground, like crappy geometry knife with a great heat treat for the steel, can I reshape it after the fact, or do I just have to use them as is?
Depends on how bad it geometry is.
As is, then yeah, fuck. I guess I'd rather take the better geometry, but if it's made out of Play-Doh, it doesn't really help me very much.
But even still, when you're working with secondary bevels and things like that, if you just have like a thick as shit, poorly ground, made in Pakistan garbage, like Yeah, I'm calling it out.
What do you mean all those Damascus knives we see on eBay aren't worth a damn? What are you talking about?
You're fighting it the whole time. Paul, you were going to say something about your geometry on the PM2, I'm sure.
No, what I was going to say is I'm not your traditional paramilitary 2 owner. Like, one of the first things I did was get rid of all the grip that was on it.
Yeah. Also, you're not like the typical PM2 owner because you only have the one PM2, right? You've just got the one variant and that's it.
Just the one, yeah.
No need to collect 30 or 80 other different kinds. Which
I think the only way you get me to get another one is if I got my hands on one in M4.
See,
because
I'd almost rather
AG10.
I'd rather have like a military in M4 and then that knife with the S110, rather than just get a duplicate of the same. If I get to be choosy and still pick something from within the Spyderco lineup.
I think I might know someone with a military M4, Joe, just to tempt you once all this,
Oh, crap.
quarantine is over. Are we going to talk about some new Benchmates, some new Spydercos? Anything jumping out at us?
Yeah,
we were talking about the Super Freak. How about the mini Super Freak here, guys?
So that's kind of... Speaking of you being done with carbon fiber, are you going to make an exception for this knife?
Yes, I'm going to make an exception.
Don't be stupid. Of course I'm going to.
It's going to fit very nicely in the box that I have one slot for Benchmades before I have to filter through. So my Manly Knives Wasps will lose its place in that box, and a Super Freak will be going in there. I don't know if I agree with the red standoffs, though.
Oh, it's red standoffs. I hadn't actually looked all that closely.
I don't know.
What'd you prefer?
I don't know about that whole thing.
Huh.
Brass?
Brass? Yeah, brass would be cool.
Did you say brass, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, God, I love you.
Dirty.
Oh my.
Yeah, we've gone there tonight.
Yeah.
No, that's a fantastic idea. As soon as you said brass, it would be fantastic. I don't know. I don't dislike red. I thought it was okay on the limited edition Osborne that came out with the TI version, right? Like
it'll match the big Super.
It will match the big Super Freak, and that's one of the things one of the only things it'll match, I guess, eh?
Yeah. It's not as if they don't very much resemble the Griptilians that preceded them or anything, but yeah.
We won't talk about Doug Ritter in this conversation.
Oh, well, okay.
We're not going there.
No, actually, I love Doug Ritter and what he's doing knife rates. And Jesus Christ, how can we not talk about Doug Ritter? Like he's actually phenomenal for the knife community in general, for sure. And yes, the Super Freak is stolen from that, but I like it so much. Let's not make waves.
It's okay. You could also go get the Hogue. Oh, it's not the EXO1. Those are originals. What were the Doug Ritter models through Hogue? They were using M390 and G10. Anyway, those are awesome.
I believe there's new variations of that knife out as well, if I remember correctly. They've got like Gen 2 versions of those already. So
nice. Got a question here asking what we feel about the upcoming Endura family in K390.
I just needed another excuse to buy another Endura, and Spyderco gave it to me because I want some goddamn K390.
I'll have to request an Endura, which is probably not coming into our Canadian local shop at this point in time. So
yeah.
We might as well give a shout out because I don't know if they're listening, if they're joining or not. Probably not because they're lazy. But becoming a we gotta give a shout out because that is the shop that I manage and run. That's the shop that all these boys know and love. That's the shop that gives us knives to be able to review. So we have to give them at least one shout out throughout this online thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know exactly who it is, but we're getting a shout out on Instagram.
It's
From BB.
Brandon. Hey, brother.
Oh, cool. Hey, man.
Happy he's promoting us.
It's just for a little bit here.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure, Brandon. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to crack this beer for Brandon.
Yeah. Hopefully
I'm doing it mainly for me, let's be honest. Yeah.
So I may not be the Spyderco guy that orders a bunch of
Hopefully we'll be able to get out into the woods with you soon here, brother.
For sure. I may not be one of those Spyderco guys that buys paramilitaries and has them in every flavor, but I might be that guy with a Dragonfly. I want a K390 Dragonfly.
Good news, my friend. Good news. We have the Dragonflies coming in. We also have the Delicas coming in.
But no Honduras, huh?
Well. Have you seen the price point?
No, I haven't actually. No. That was my follow-up question.
How bad is it?
The Canadian price point as well as the American price point, I'm sure is you're going to be able to price match some stuff, and if we want a special order, we can. But you're looking at $200 delicates.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I'm almost willing to pay that.
Maybe not quite that price point. I can't give or take. I'm hoping that they're not going to come in at that price point, but we're looking at $160 to $170 Dragonflies, which I'll take a K390 Dragonfly over a ZDP Dragonfly any day of the week for a similar price point. And that's why I'm excited about the Dragonfly as well, for sure.
As much as I like ZDP, I have to agree with you.
Yeah. I got no complaints about ZD3. Got a Cali 3, rocking it. I'm pretty sure you have the same knife. He's got a dig for his. I'm on it.
Don't have to dig far.
Yeah, and apparently Blades Canada already has an upcoming Spyderco section on their site.
They certainly do. Yes. And we pick and choose for sure at the cutting edge, and I have to always balance price point compared to like popularity and anticipating what's going to be hot. On that note, we might as well jump into it. The Sleesh Swayback. Let's talk about it, boys. We might as well.
So this is a knife where I am roughly
that one looks nice.
Yeah, 80-90% sure that if I bought it, like right now, sight unseen, I would probably love it when I got it in hand, but I need to hold it. Because
and before you hold it, you should probably look at the price tag of the 450 plus.
Yeah, no, I know.
Price tag to go along with that sumbitch.
I know what
so,
the price
that's
is, but
painful.
But I love the pattern. This is one that's been anticipated by Spyderco fans for a long time. And if we look at the Sleesh buoy, I mean, the availability is probably going to be shot after a year, maybe 2 years, right? So there's also that fear of like, you're not going to get it. So, which if Spyderco engineered that on purpose, good business decision maybe, but it looks slick.
Yep.
It looks super slick.
So I made the comment during the Pleroma review about how I thought it swayed back a little too much. The new Swayback from Spyderco, that's like a perfect Swayback. Like that one's nice.
Yeah. No, it's
my personal favorite thing about it is it's not a goddamn flipper.
Yeah, okay.
As a lefty, I will be spidey flicking that all day long with the hole opening, and all you boys are going to have to thumb stud it as righties.
Oh, that's right, because the hole's buried.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I think it's even more buried than the Sleesh, and the Sleesh is quite buried already. I'm pretty sure the Swayback's almost completely buried, right?
See, I can flick that like middle finger.
Yeah,
flick,
me too.
I can't do. I don't see how you're going to be able to do it on the Swayback.
As lefties, that's what I'm going to love about it, and the fact that they didn't do a flipper. Because if they did a flipper, they might as well just call it the CRKT Swindle at that point, right? So,
hey, that's Spyderco CRKT Swindle.
And then Ken Onion would be like, "Wait a second here, what's going on?"
Okay,
Opening a knife with your thumb is not so bad.
They did actually leave room for a for the pocket clip to be installed on the left-hand side as well. So
They certainly did. Yeah.
So
as if we haven't noticed that already.
Well, I had to double check because I couldn't remember.
Nigel,
I think I noted it at the time.
Nigel, you were aware that it was left-handed, yes?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Oh, I have another question here. Ahsoka Edge, what are your thoughts on the
God,
the Poochie model? Oh, okay, it's a cute art knife. If you like gimmicky art knives, and I say that with a lot of respect because it's a gimmick, but it's kind of a cute gimmick.
Okay, ZT came out with what was the little Galeon? I don't know how to pronounce the designer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they came out with the two designs, and they had that little tiny bird-looking one with the blue pivot color that you popped open. This thing is using S45, so new and upcoming. Yeah, whether you like the finger thing on the back or not, the price point on this thing is actually lower than the ZT one that came out with, S35? I don't think it was 20 CV. Even if it was significantly more money than this thing is probably going to be. So for tiny, high quality, I got to give it credit where credit is due, where it's not my jam. It's weird as shit, but
it's a cute
compared to what else is on the market. Yeah.
Are you talking about the little two-finger one from ZT?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pochi.
I think that one actually is 20 CV. But either way.
S45.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about the ZT.
Oh, the tiny ZT one?
Yeah, I think it's 20 CV.
You don't mean that little, the 0022, that tiny little guy?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay, because that I don't know if that was made to look like a bird or not. This is definitely made to look like a dog. Again,
yes.
As far as art knives, cute kind of thing, it's really not all that bad. But I probably will never own one unless it's gifted to
I
me.
will not.
It's not the kind of thing I'd be looking to get rid of as soon as I got it, but I don't think I'd be paying for it. It's not really my shtick.
They seem to be on a dog knife kick. They had those kitchen knives with the feet on them too.
Yeah.
You can stand upright.
I don't know. I just think when it comes down to it, it's not the worst option out there for tiny little, like, one finger, two finger knives that are on the market right now. I think there's crappier things out there than what Spyderco came out with, even though it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair argument.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And on the new Spyderco stuff, I might as well throw out there. Have we all seen the rock jumper? Do we know what I'm talking about the rock jumper?
No.
No. Wait.
A Warncliffe version with a stretch handle.
Yeah, that thing.
Why do we need this in our lives? Why?
Why? Why
no idea.
Why does the Indela?
Once again, Spyderco win the redundancy.
Screw you, Indela. I agree with the Indela. I love that knife. No bad one.
It feels great in hand. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's like, who looked at
the
Indelica?
No.
Who looked at the Endura? I was like, you know what I really need in my life is something right in the middle. Like, no.
I stand by the fact that it's the nicest knife that nobody ever asked for.
Yeah, it's well made. It's nice. I have nothing against it. It's just it didn't need to exist.
But the rock jumper needed to exist even less.
Well, it's a big old
stretch
with a Warncliffe blade. It's inherently strange.
But they don't even give credit to the stretch. They make it look like it's designed all specifically for rock jumpers and climbers and blah, blah, blah. And they don't hint on the fact that it's just a knife handle thrown on a new knife blade shape, and they're marketing it towards. And why is it rock jumping in particular, or rock climbing in particular?
Because they had
There's
to
no
make up,
carabiner. There's no.
they had to make up a story to make it different from the Stretch, because they knew if they called it a successor to the Stretch, it would bomb in sales, because nobody likes the Stretch, and the few people that do already own it, so they're not going to buy a Wharncliffe version.
Because they walked into the back and they took a handle and a blade and they looked at them for a second and went, "Hey, those might fit," and that's how the knife got made.
Like, don't we already have a
Yep.
Wharncliffe Endura?
Or Wharncliffe Delica.
Well, that's
And
what I mean.
then-
Yeah, but like similar
Yeah.
size, right? Like, you're,
Yeah, because this one is sub 3-inch. It's like 2.8 or something like that.
it's just such a weird. And I mean, sure, fine. If you like Wharncliffes in that size, I can see how you'd like that knife, but yeah.
Again, I'm gonna throw my hands up on like, who the hell cares whether this knife exists? Like, seriously, are rock climbers gonna be like, yes, that's the knife I've been waiting for this whole time? Like,
We'll find out.
Sure.
We'll have to see.
Johnny Juke actually has a really good question.
yeah.
What knife
Johnny.
have you owned? Yes.
Yeah, John.
What have you owned more than once? What knife have you owned more than
Oh,
once?
so I'm gonna assume this means you've either lost, sold, gifted, or otherwise lost possession of a knife and then rebought it, or was you somehow came into possession of
Or owned multiple, or
because I don't, unless he means a specific knife that's come in and come and gone through my life. But
No, bought and rebought.
yeah, I can't think of an example in my collection from either. Typically, if I like something, I hold on to it.
For me
I'll think
personally,
about
it's a manics, Spyderco manics. I've owned several.
Yeah.
I've sold several. I do not own a Spyderco manics, but there might come a day when there's a right combination of a Spyderco manics that I end up with in my collection again. And I don't know what it is about that knife, but I buy it because it feels great and whatever. And then it's a pancake. It's even more of a pancake than the PM2 is. So it's hard to live with.
a thin knife.
But there's something weird about a Manix that I appreciate the function behind that knife, for sure.
Fair.
For me, the only one that I actually own more than one of is the grip and tie lights. I have 2 tie lights, and
Yeah.
I bought one, liked it so much, I bought another and upgraded, basically.
See, I think you and I are in the same boat there. We both have the aluminum handled S35 tie light, and then we both have the Zytel handled Oz 8 tie light.
Yeah.
I think that's a close.
And I think we would both like the blacked out one with G10 if we could get it too, right?
Jesus, dude, I've been bouncing back and forth between buying that thing for such a long time, but I just can't justify the funds for what it is.
Yep.
Nigel, yourself? Anything bought and rebought? Anything?
Nothing. I buy things to own them. I don't buy to resell, so there's nothing that's left my collection.
I will say in
fair.
my own personal collection, if we're talking about things like Paul's talking about, we're rebuying the Griptilian. Oh my God. I don't know how many variations of a Griptilian I own, but it's healthy for sure. So.
Oh, another note. Hasn't anybody noticed Spyderco redoing every model to death, like the plethora of movie reboots? That's another one from Ahsoka Edge.
Sorry.
Yeah, Spyderco likes to iterate and reiterate designs quite a bit. Like, excessively. Oh, I thought Nigel was going to jump in.
I lost you there for a second, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we all frozen? What's going on?
Nope. So, Nigel, you go ahead.
K390 dance.
Yeah, we kind of started touching on that when we were reviewing like lightweight models of the Spyderco stuff, and like, why do they have to make a lightweight version of an Andella? Yeah, like it's
Sage
just
5.
getting
Sage
silly.
5 lightweight is where my rage is. All of my rage is
Yeah.
focused on a Sage 5 lightweight.
It's a little uncalled for sure.
figure out what a Sage 6 is and come out with that, you sons of bitches.
I think part of it honestly boils down to the fact that they know that the core Spyderco guys are going to buy it no matter what it is.
Even, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put it out in a different colored handle and, hey, it's this steel. People will buy it.
Oh, how many people, speaking of the PM2, how many people have made a living off of collecting PM2s?
Well,
like, it's
yeah, that's definitely one of their best ways to make money, I think, is by making variations of the same knife over and over and over again. Oh, this time it's using a different G10 and it's using a slightly different blade steel, so we'll market the price up 50% and then do a dealer exclusive. And this isn't a criticism, it's just that's what they do to make money. As far as models being really reiterative, though, I think there's a lot less purpose to it. Again, this is kind of where did the Indela really need to exist? Like, was it really so different from both the Delica and the Endura that you thought that this is necessary?
Yes, my answer is yes to that. It's completely necessary.
Is it justified just because of the different profile? Because, I mean, if you look at the different... Anyway, as far as the Sage 5 is concerned, like the lightweight version, yeah, that one's a little bit strange. Just, it's not that much more lightweight than the regular version. It's the same blade steel, isn't it? Like, not much has really changed.
Yeah. But Spyderco has also been known for their sprint runs. So taking a design that already exists and going, here's another variation of it.
Well,
and they're used to that working.
On that, the whole sprint runs for this year is S90 Little Natives, which I think is a complete utter waste of time, and S90 Native Chiefs, which I think is kind of awesome and badass.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm kind of tempted by that.
Okay, so here's my question to the group: what's better, Orange Rex 45 or carbon fiber with S90 Native Chief? Because they both came out this year as sprint run limited editions.
You don't even need to ask me. You know my answer.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah. Forget the burnt orange. Forget the Rex 45. Give me that S90. Give me that carbon fiber.
I agree with all of that, but I want to play with Rex 45.
Oh yeah, I still want to own something with Rex 45 at some point, but I don't. If you're gonna say one or the other, definitely the other. Definitely the carbon fiber.
I think Rex 45 is a good platform for the Native Chief. I think that's a good steel to show off what the Native Chief can do as far as a durability and like edge holding and impact resistance and all of that good stuff. S90 is good, but I've been playing with my manly knives, like scalpel of a blade, and I'm starting to appreciate S90 on a slicing finely on a regular basis, and not the Native Chief, which might be able to handle some abuse, some cross cuts, some quick cuts, some things like that with the Rex 45.
So basically, you need to buy both sprint runs and then do a blade swap. This is what you need to do.
There you go.
Well, yeah, because carbon fiber with Rex 45 would be just a beast, right?
Ideal.
Absolutely, it would be.
How wide is the blade on the Native Chief? Like, how thick is the blade in comparison to like a paramilitary or something?
Like, it's in the same boat.
Blade stock thickness?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 mil or something in there.
Because these things are slicey as hell.
The grind
is
slicey nice, I think, right? Like, I mean, regardless of how thick or not you think the blade stock is, that grind is that's one of the things the PM2 does really, really well. And a lot of Spydercos do really, really well.
So we have surpassed the 60-minute, 1 hour marker. Depending on how many Instagram and or YouTube followers, we might want to wrap it up and continue this on a later date. So
we got a couple questions.
Okay,
it's completely up to you guys.
Yeah. If you guys are okay with it, I might take a bathroom.
Cool to wrap up.
That's waiting to happen. So,
how do we feel about firing off those questions and then maybe calling it for this session?
100%. I just happened to look up and there's somebody new that was asking a question, so I figured we could give them the platform.
Yeah.
Scott Simmons wants to know what do you guys think of the giant dump of new Kershaws for 2020? Also, how do you think their China manufactured models stand up against the likes of Civivi, Bestech, Hubie, Rook, anything like that? Right?
Man,
They're falling behind.
Kershaw as a whole
Yeah.
falling behind. Yeah.
Yeah, for their Chinese stuff, definitely falling behind.
I think yes, I could agree with that. Yeah. As far as the machining, looking at the build quality and the videos of some of the new models that I've seen, they actually look pretty good. But for the price and for what else is out there, I'm going to side with Nigel. And yeah, the Kershaw's kind of fallen behind, which sucks to see because it'd be nice. Well, how many other new Chinese models are using D2? Finally. Like three or 4 years after we saw those first couple come in, and we're like, they need to do more. Like, much more.
Yeah, it has to be across the board at the very minute.
I think personally they're using a lot of the same factories myself.
It's probably
I do believe
that. Yeah.
San Remo, things like that, they're all using the same factory. So it all depends on what kind of quality control they want that factory to have. And if they want that factory to have good quality control, yeah, you might pay a little bit more, but it looks like Kershaw, again, is cutting corners on price points and things like that and trying to make top dollar. If they focused more on their quality control than they did about their price point, I think they would be better off and competitive in what's going on in the 2020 market, not what's going on in, say, maybe the 2012 or the 2014 market.
Yeah, they're definitely
most
definitely times in that regard. On that note, I think Civivi and Bestech, they're especially those two. Artisan Colors, another one that comes to mind. They're all kicking ass. Like, just quality of product for the dollar that you're paying, and the materials that they're using are just awesome. Like, awesome.
Yeah, pretty damn crazy.
Like, the worst steel in terms of edge holding that I've seen from those companies is like 9CR. 18 MOV, I think.
Yeah.
And that's not even all that bad of a steel. Whereas we're still seeing 8CRs out of China out of Kershaw for Chinese-made products.
We're still seeing 5CRs and 3CRs out of Kershaw.
Yeah, never mind the what was it, the 2CR shuffles that they were still producing for Walmart for such a long time.
Yeah.
Just really junky level stuff, unfortunately.
And then you got the last question there, Paul.
Kind of this is again from Ahsoka Edge. If you think it's more of a comment, if you think that's bad, you got to see the threads on the Spyderco forum about wanting a little native lightweight.
A little native lightweight.
Yes. Evidently, I don't know how to read.
I can see that because that actually competes with the Dragonfly category.
Oh.
I think
it would be American made, right? If it's the little native.
You throw an S30 little native and you're competing with watch pocket design. But I do know at the price point that it was at, I don't know. For me, it didn't do it for me.
I don't think they can get it much cheaper than it already is. Because of that, I'm not
on American soil.
That's just it. I'm not interested in something like that. Not for something that's built to be like a utility knife.
And it would have to be the lockback over the compression lock.
Oh, for
compression
sure.
lock's almost impossible to use.
It would be, for sure. Yeah.
We got one more question from Mr. Fisk, just if we wanted to bang these guys out. Is it just me, or did the Maximate fad come and go quite quickly?
All steels. M390. It's the king. It's what's been around for 20 years and it's still sticking around. S30, S35, people aren't even calling super steels anymore. So Maximate,
yeah.
Well, Maximate in particular, it's a ZDP. It's just one more that people are going to forget about in 3 years, except for the guys that own mules, and then they're going to knife nerd steel test it until the end of time to figure out which one's the best. So
yeah. And it really seemed like it was one of those steels that was being pushed in popularity because of the sprint run aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, wasn't its claim to fame that it was super hard or something like that? Like
Yeah.
70 Rockwell or
Super
something?
hard. I don't think any
Yeah.
of us have personally had experience with it. I've sharpened it a couple times for customers, and I will say that it takes a keen as hell edge. But I mean, yeah, it's just one more in the pile, I think, when it comes to it, and I don't think it's going to stand the test of time as being a standout like M390, which the controversy between heat treatment or whatever is regardless. It's still, in my mind, one of the kings. So,
no, I got to agree. But
by far.
I think the reason why kind of accentuating this come and go of new and different steels is because that is another facet of Spyderco's philosophy. Is they're developing uses for new steels in different ways. Like there's always the mule team. There's gonna be stuff like the LC200N models, which have been super popular.
God bless LC200N, man. That stuff is going to be the next wave, I think.
And I think we see a lot of back and forth in terms of, Spyderco will start to launch this new thing, and then 2-3 years later, all of a sudden it's mainstream and considered super high end for the application. Maximet just happened to be one of those, like Dennis said, kind of like ZDP, where it was there, and now it's less there. Ahsoka saying Maximet HRC goes from 68 to 70. Jesus, I would not.
Yeah, 74. They were trying to surpass the Rockwell hardness scale with Maximet the last time around. Like, it's supposed to only go to 72 or something like that.
Sans diamonds, I wouldn't want to try sharpening that thing.
There was issues getting, like, with companies getting their hands on ZDP, wasn't there? No, that was XHP.
XHP.
Yeah, XHP.
XHP, yeah.
Cold steel in the controversy, but yeah.
Yes.
So, we got any more questions here, guys?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Yep.
Early. It is an hour, so we might do another one of these again here, maybe on Sunday, depending on what's going on. But we're going to try to make a habit of these until we can get back together in person, for sure.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Indeed. Yeah. Gonna say thanks to everyone who did pop in and watched us for a while here. Thanks everyone who asked questions.
Very much so. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Makes this kind of thing a hell of a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Sign us off, Nigel. You know how to do it.
For sure. That being that, this is Nigel the Smith.
I am who I always am. I'm down.